ideas in the chat box of the apps that you would want to create, that you would want to have on your phone. Yeah.
Flappy Bird.
Something maybe maybe that doesn't exist. I was thinking about the spell quiz, right? Like you guys all probably have the spelling challenges at school, right? Where they give you, I don't know, 10 words to learn, and then you have to how to spell, and then there is a test or something on it. Is it still going on? I know when my kids were small, we always had that. No, it's not a thing anymore. So they don't give you the spell quizzes anymore?
Not really. I don't remember that being a thing. I don't know if it's a thing now.
Yeah, it used to be a thing when my kids were young, but yeah, so, and I actually, back then, I actually created my own app where wherever the words were, it was like a flashcards, right? The app would pronounce the name, and you have to spell it, and if you spell it correctly, there is some like noise, like applaudissements or something, and if you didn't get it correctly, then there would be like some disappointing kind of sound, like something like that, right? So that could be an idea, right? That's something that can help you, right? So the best apps, the most viral apps, the most downloaded apps, those that solve some problems, right? So if you have any problem that you would actually, if you have some, there's a word like that, they solve some pain, right? So so if you think of anything that can be solved by the virtue of app on your phone, just give us an ideas. Write about that in the chat. There are not so many of you here, guys, so just go ahead and write something on the chat, and we will think whether we can show you guys how to do that, right?
Yeah, also keep in mind, in App Inventor, there's a lot of really cool tools that we haven't even like scraped the surface with yet. So for instance, if you wanted to make like a spelling quiz app, MIT App Inventor has a text-to-speech function. So you don't have to like show the word and then have them spell it. It could literally have the phone say the word out loud and then say it.
Yeah, can we actually do something like that during this week? I know it's exprompt, but that would be cool if we could actually show them how to build a useful app like that. I can definitely see how they can use it, right? And it can actually help them at school. And moreover, maybe your friends can share your app, right? So you just give them the QR code and they would download it on their phones, right? Yeah, you'd be a hero.
Do you think it's possible to make like an app where people learn how to cook?
Learn how to cook? Yes. Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
I actually
Depends
had
on
an app
how.
like that. He called it Cookify. Tim, what you want to talk about
That
that
what it
one?
was called? I don't actually have it on this account anymore. It was like on some computer. But basically the premise of the app was you put like the ingredients you have and it tells you what you can cook with them instead of like saying what you want to cook, and it gives you the ingredients. So then if you don't like want to go to the store, you can just figure out what you can make with what you have.
Yeah, his team won like the second place with that app, right? On the hackathon. And he actually created it using MIT App Inventor. So Tim, so the idea was for you to cook based on what ingredients you have in your house, right? So you just enter the ingredients that you have in your house and it would just show you the recipe, what you can cook with that. So is that something we can actually teach them how to do?
The Cookify thing or the
Yeah.
spelling thing?
Cookify thing. Well, Cookify things,
know.
spelling things. I'm just looking for new ideas, guys, for you.
We can just start on the chat app if we want today.
Okay, yeah, let's do some voting, right? Let's see what they want to.
Chat app takes a while.
Definitely. Okay, cookie clicker. Zaki said okay.
Cookie clicker would actually be possible, but like it'd be really boring. Like 5
Okay,
minutes.
go ahead and give us some more ideas. We will touch on chat on the messenger anyways. It's just we have 4 more days anyways, right? So we will just try to prioritize things. Just want to make sure this is something you guys are enjoying and having fun with. Ian, Hannah, go ahead and put your vote. Sophia? Can be completely different app that we didn't even talk about, right? I wonder if Ian has any trouble logging in. Sophia, Hannah, can you please give us, type something in the chat? Give us your preferences. So right now, the choice is the Messenger, Cookify, just application about what you can cook based on the ingredients that you have. And the third one was a spell quiz.
I say we start the chat today and then see how long it takes us to finish it. And if we have time at the end, we can go to different apps. Because if we don't leave enough time for it, we might have like a half-baked chat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We will, no matter what, we will teach you the Messenger because it's a very important concept of database. And it's used the lists and everything. So that's definitely the thing. But just want to make sure that if we have time, we can squeeze it something fun for you. Sophia? Okay, Geometry Dash. What is that, Tim? Geometry Dash?
Like a game where you have a block that needs to jump over obstacles.
Okay,
And
you
there's-
want to unmute your mic and elaborate on that?
I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say? Okay, we'll Google it, no problem. Thank you for your idea. Yeah, Hannah, how about you? Hannah, are you here? Can you unmute your mic?
I'm thinking of something.
Okay. Okay, no problem, guys. Take your time and we can get back to this at the end of the class because today we're doing Messenger anyways. Yes, I guess we can start, Tim, and in the meantime, I'll just contact Ayan's parents just to make sure he doesn't have any issues there, okay?
Okay, yeah. So I think for today then, I guess we'll start with the chat app. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Here you go. And let me show you basically how our old chat app worked. So this app was actually quite advanced. Basically, how it worked was you have to, we used something called a cloud database, which is something that you guys haven't really talked about before. But real quick, actually, does anyone know here what a database is? Can anyone explain what a database is? Oh, Ayan's here. Okay, does anyone here know what a database is? Or have a
Yeah,
guess?
welcome. I was about to call your parents.
Sorry, I overslept.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Okay, does anyone have a guess? Has anyone like even heard the word before? And like, where have they heard it? No, not really.
Yeah, no, I couldn't figure out how to do it. I tried, but I couldn't figure out.
Okay, no wait, Ayan, for the oh, we didn't really finish the tic-tac-toe app.
Yeah, I
Still
know,
have-
but like the homework, I couldn't finish. I tried though.
Yes, we need to actually finish that.
Oh,
Let's go back to that. Okay, in that case, well, guys, we'll get back to the chat app later. All right, for now, guys, think about what a database is. All right, Google it if you don't know right now, and I'll explain it later again. But actually, open up your tic-tac-toe app because we're not quite done here. So we'll spend a little bit of time fixing this up, and then we'll keep going with the rest.
So anyone actually took the challenge and fixed the bugs in the code?
No.
yeah, I tried to do that, but I couldn't do it.
Okay, so so let's just refresh our memories. What were the bugs that we had? So one of them was that reset button was also taking the any button click generic function and switching to X or 0, right?
Yep.
And the other challenge was which one?
The label thing, right?
The blank, yeah, the blank, the tiles that equal to each other when they're blank, right? So that was the other bug. So no one took the liberty of fixing them. Guys, coding and programming is all about problem solving. Okay, so it's not only about knowing how to put the knowing language or how to put things together, but you have to think of how would you solve that problem, right? So if you know the if statements, like me, for example, right? If I look at this problem of empty tiles, I would put a check first to make sure the tiles are not empty before I start checking if first tile equals to B, second tile equals to 3, right? So it can be if statement within another if statement, right? So you'd only go to the next if statement if the first condition of the first if statement is true, right? So it's simple like that. So and it's okay if you don't know how to put the code together, but at least the idea should be there, right? At least you should be able to think about how to solve that problem, right? So same thing with when any button click. Can we first check if that button is the reset button? If that reset button, don't do anything. With any other button, yes, apply that knowledge. And this is where the if statements help, right? So again, like maybe it's okay not to know how to put that. You can always Google the syntax and everything, the wording, the code, which code to use. But at least the logic, you should be able to come up with, right? Okay, so so since nobody was able to fix the bug, so we'll go through that. We'll fix the bug and finish this game now, and after that we'll start the messenger. Okay, hopefully after the break.
All right, guys. So we have two problems. We have the matching tiles, so it finds 3 in a row regardless, like of all of the empty tiles, and we have the problem with the buttons. All right, saying that when you press the reset button, it gets an X or an O. So which one do you guys think we should fix first? Come on, guys, say something in the chat. Ayan, which one do you want to fix first? Ayan, hello?
Oh, sorry, what happened?
What do you want to fix first? Do you want to fix the buttons or the 3 in a row with the empty slots?
I think we should fix the 3 in the row first.
Okay, so you want to fix the 3 in a row first. How about you, Sophia?
What should we use to fix the 3 in the row?
Sophia, do you think buttons or... Guys, just say something in the chat, okay? Zaki, Hannah, Ian, just type what you think we should fix first in the chat. All right, and then we can move on and actually fix it. Let's get some interaction going on here.
I don't know.
So Zaki wants a reset. Ayan wants a 3 in a row. Ian, how about you? You don't know? Sophia, how about you? Hannah says reset button too. Okay, I think we can go reset first then. It sounds like most people say that. And then I'll show you guys how to fix a 3 in a row. So if we look at our code here, the main thing that's controlling the buttons, right, is this big chunk right here, right? And you'll notice we've used inside of our function, inside of this like button listener, we've used this parameter get component. All right, we've used it right here, and I think we use it further down. No, we just use it right here, right here. Okay, but we've never really used this thing here that says not already handled. Okay, what not already handled does is it's just a little parameter that changes depending on what button you click. If you click on a button that has another when listener for it, not already handled it's a variable, right? It's a true or false variable. It will either be true or false, right? If you click on a button that already has something handling it, not already handled will be false. All right. If you click on a button that doesn't have something already handling it, it will be true. All right. This is saying basically, if you click on the reset button, it already sees that it has like a listener that tells it what to do. So if you click on the reset button, not already handled will be false for the reset button because it is already handled by this one. Right? And any other button that we click on, the actual tic-tac-toe buttons, are not handled. So if you click on them, this will return true. And we can use this to basically make a big if statement around this code, right? That will change who is that will change what buttons are allowed to be controlled by this. All right. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go control if. All right, this is gonna be quite an easy one. We're literally just gonna say if not already handled. Okay, and the reason this works is because an if usually looks for some kind of condition that returns true or false, but not already handled is already true or false. So basically, it's going to say, if not already handled, do this. Otherwise, we don't want to do anything. All right. If the button we're clicking on is not already handled, then we want to take all this code and slide it in there. If it's going to let me. There you go. Okay. So now this code is only running if we click on a button that doesn't have like an on button .click. All right. Our reset button does, but none of our other buttons do.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the main thing. If not already handled, gets not already handled. Okay, you pull it out from here. And this should actually just fix it. And that's a very small, like little thing that we just did. Right? We just added one little if statement, and that should fix our entire problem.
Okay, I finished that.
Okay, so Ahan's got this, guys. Can everyone else also let me know if when you're done this, go ahead and say done in the chat or give me a thumbs up. Okay, Zaki's good. Hannah's good. Ian, Sophia, how are you guys doing? Is that a thumbs up? Yeah, there you go. Sophia's good, and I think Ian's also set. Awesome. All right. You guys can test this out if you want. This should fix the button problem, but before I'm going to test it and like check over all of your guys' code, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we also fix the 3 in a row problem. All right, there's a couple of things that we can do to fix this. All right. One is a little bit easier than the other, I think. So the main problem right now is it sees that 10 or 9 empty text boxes are the same blocks in a row, which is technically is right. If I have 3 buttons with no text in a row, that's 3 in a row. But then it misinterprets that 3 in a row of nothing as a win for X or a win for O, depending on whose turn it was, which is not what we want. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure that we have 2 possibilities. Either we can make sure that when we're checking for the 3 in a row, we check to see that it's not an empty box, or we can simply go through these boxes and make it so that each one after the other, is not the same as the previous one. So one way we could do this is kind of like a little hack, hack around the problem. Instead of actually adding conditions into our if statement to check if it's empty, right? We can just literally go in here and we can just make it so the first one is empty, the second one has 1 space, the third one has 2 spaces, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm actually missing one here.
Okay, so everything but the first one has spaces in it?
Yeah, so basically, make it so each one after the other has one more space. Okay, the reason this is going to work is it basically makes it so that none of these, when compared, are having the same content. Right? Because 7 spaces, or I mean 8 spaces is not the same as 7 spaces, right? But when we run the game, it's going to look exactly the same because the 7 spaces are just going to look like nothing. So this is a little bit of like a cheat. It's probably doing it the HTML way would probably be like safer, but I think this is just like a little workaround that's a lot less typing for you guys, a lot less dragging. We don't want to hurt Ian's hand again, right? So this is probably the easiest way to do it. Okay, but this is gonna relieve one more problem that we do need to solve.
Wait, can I try it on my phone?
Hey, you can try it out if you want, but it still has a little bit of a problem.
Oh, okay. Then I'll.
All right, okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do, I think that most of you probably have this, okay, is when we actually run our game the first time, we still just have a bunch of blank tiles. All right, this spacing only happens when we click the reset button. All right, so there's two options for what we could do. Either we can make it so that we can go back to the designer and manually add the spacing, okay, which I think would be a little bit of a pain. Or we can just do it in the code. I think the code side would be a little bit easier, right, or a little bit quicker. All right, and the way we're going to do it in the code is I'm going to click screen 1. And you'll notice under screen 1, there's actually a lot of these little orange blocks that allow you to do things. All right, so you see permission granted, permission denied, other screen closed, initialized, error occurred, back pressed. Right, all of this stuff does things when you press certain buttons on the screen. All right, this one right here, when screen1.initialize, basically will run any code that you put in here when you first start the app. All right, so using this, what we could literally just do is we can make it so that when we start the app, right, we're going to take this reset code and just quickly reset all of our buttons, and then all of these spacing things will be applied instantly. All right, but for us to do this, we're kind of have to we're gonna have to copy paste all this code, right? But we don't like copy pasting, so I'm gonna give you guys a little challenge. All right, last class I taught you guys how to use procedures, all right, to take code and reuse it in multiple places. What I want you to do today is turn this big reset chunk of code into a procedure, and then use that procedure under when reset.click and under when screen1.initialize. Okay, so that's your little challenge. I'll give you a couple minutes for that. And then afterwards, we'll check your guys' code to see how you did it. All right, so create a procedure out of this, and then use that procedure under when reset.click and when screen1.initialize. That is your challenge. So guys, for the procedure, you can, it doesn't really matter what you name it. Just make it somewhat descriptive. So you can call it like reset buttons or just reset or, I don't know, something else that you guys think is fun. Something to do with resetting.
Reset game. Yeah. Okay, and I'll start setting up the virtual phone so you guys can test it.
Hey Martin, how's your virtual phone going?
Trying it out. Like I have the thing working with MIT App Inventor, but I can't really play it with this one. It doesn't want to connect.
It's okay, we can split. You can send me to a different breakout room and I can test it with them. Just give me a second to set things up. Okay, I got it connected. So who is ready to test, guys? Ayan, are you ready to test?
Oh no, I'm doing the reset challenge thing.
Guys, very easy challenge, right?
Yeah.
Just create a procedure, move the code that you want to execute. Procedure is like a mini program that you want to call, and then just call that program where you want, right? That's the beauty of MIT App Inventor. This actually not a very easy concept, but the way they teach it, the way they actually allow you to use it, it's so simple. And anywhere where your code needs duplication, it's a place for the function, for the procedure, right? Those of you who are familiar with other programming languages, the procedures in coding languages called actually functions, right? I like how they even simplified the name of the concept, right?
I think functions is probably more straightforward than procedures.
Yeah, if you know math, but for kids, procedures way easier, right?
Is it?
Yeah, functions sounds like a scary word for kids.
In some languages, they call it methods too.
Yeah, in C, for example, it's called methods. Yeah, in language C. Yeah,
They
okay.
just call it chunks.
Yeah. So,
All right, so guys, who was able to figure out how to turn it into a procedure and put it in both places?
I'm almost done.
I'm pretty sure Ian tackled that already. Ian, you want to share your screen and show us? Ian?
I can't. It says
Oh,
host
sorry.
disabled.
Yes, here you go. Now you should be able to.
There you go. And everyone else, guys, watch, okay, as we go through this with Ian. Okay, can you zoom in a little bit? Okay, so Ian created a procedure called it reset. Good job. And then when screen initialized, call reset. When button one clicked, I'm guessing the button one is your reset button, right? So call the reset.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. See how easy it is? Good job, Ian. Yeah, did you test it or do you need to test it on virtual device?
I tested it, but it says player X wins when I put the X down.
Huh.
Right away?
Yeah, right away.
Can you try to refresh companion screen?
Well, no, I'm not testing it anymore, but that's just what happened.
Did you test it like before or after the change we just made?
After the change.
Can you maybe
let
share
me
QR code with us? We will test it too.
no, hold on. Let me try to do it on mine and see if it works.
No, I just tried. It works perfectly fine.
Okay, yeah. So I'm also gonna make a reset procedure and then throw everything in here and then just. So guys, again, screen one without initialize. All this is gonna do is it basically just runs this code as soon as your app opens or this screen gets like created. All right, so this code happens right as you see the screen appear. All right, so let me actually try this out.
I wonder if it's a conflict of between reset because you're already using the
I
reset.
don't think so.
Oh, but he's not, right? His button is called button 1. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, for me too. I put the code in right, I think, anyway, and it's still saying player 0 won the game.
Wait, but did you guys do the spaces?
Okay, for me it works
Yeah, we
fine.
did the spaces.
I did the spaces too.
Oh, okay. So I think here's what the problem is. So it works fine the first time. When we press the reset button, however, the text from the last win stays.
And
Is
also
that what you're experiencing?
Also, you can double tap a button, one of them, and then it will change it to the other one.
Yeah, you can override buttons. That's more of like a user responsibility not to do it.
Alright, right.
Because like they can just override it if they want, but they just shouldn't. But for the thing at the bottom, so I don't know if I can show my screen. I don't want to like set up the whole sharing. But at the bottom it says like player X1, and then even if after I press reset, it still says player X1. Okay, so I think that's the biggest thing that is wrong right now, and probably what you guys are thinking is the problem. All right, but I think the first time you run it, it works fine.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, to do that, we basically just need to take label 2 and set its text to blank whenever we run reset. So now that we have a procedure, we don't actually have to change the code in 2 places. We only have to change it in 1 place. So we can just go down here, find label 2, and go set label 2 dot text, and set that text to no text. Boom. Okay, and that should reset that text, and everything should work now. All right, so I'm actually going to refresh companion screen. I'm going to go ahead and win, and when I click reset, it resets. And player O won the game. Awesome, works perfectly. I hope your guys' does too, but I think we're going to go through and check the code now in a second to see how everyone did it. Okay, we can quickly go into some breakout rooms and get everyone to share their screens. But I think that's just about it for this game. Unless there's anything else that you guys really want to add.
Okay, so who has the phone, guys? And who doesn't have the phone to test? Sophia has a phone. Ian, do you have a phone today? Hannah
Yes.
has a phone. Okay, so Ayan and Zaki, do you have a phone to test this?
Yeah, I have phone to test it.
Oh, so Ayan
And
has a
have
phone.
the phone today?
No, I have my phone today.
Okay, so I think it's just Zaki now.
Oh, cool. Okay. So Zaki, do you want to share your screen so we can check your code and test it?
I can't share my screen because Tim's already sharing it.
Tim, can you stop sharing, please? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, mine works.
Okay.
Yeah, mine works fine.
So yeah, reset. Okay, add the label reset to the reset please function, to the reset procedure.
Where?
We need to reset the label to also, right? So that if there is any text left from the previous game who won, you want to get rid of that. So duplicate the set label to text. Did you see how Tim showed that? You see in your win function, you're setting label to text to join.
Can you please repeat?
So on the left side, just click label 2.
Okay, or that.
Okay.
No, okay, leave that one there, leave that one there. Like on the left side of your screen where you have your like options for
Where your
blocks,
blocks are.
go down
Label
and
2.
find label 2. Okay, click that and then go set label 2.text. It's like in the middle.
Set label.
Or
It's
grab
near
any
the-
set blocks and
there you
just.
go, there you go, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, and now pop that into the reset procedure.
Function. Wait, no. Where
The reset procedure. The procedure. There you go.
at the bottom.
And now you want to set the text to just a blank text. So just pull something out from text. Go click text and yeah, there and pull out a blank one.
Okay.
And there you go.
Right. So now that will reset the. You know which one is label 2, right? Label 2 is the one where we say player X1 or something, right? Okay, and maybe add the space after the player and before the winner. Zaki,
Yes.
you see where you join the text player and the winner? You need some spaces, otherwise everything will be smooshed together, right? So after the player, leave some space. So it's gonna actually type player, then space, then it's gonna throw in the variable. Yeah, add the space. Yeah, there you go. Gonna throw in the variable, and then the second part of that sentence needs to start with the space, right? So your variable will be, yeah, so your variable will have some spaces before and after, right? Okay. Yeah, I think you're ready to test. So let's do that. Give me the QR code. Okay, I have it. So stop sharing so I can share my screen. Go ahead, request the control and test it. Yeah, you can test it. Nice. So player 0, yeah. So what's happening? Can you click in the middle? There you go. So
Maybe
why
his
is it
label is black.
what's happening? Oh, the label is black, right? It's a design issue. So it's a black text on the black background, right? So we need to go back to your code. Can you click reset button before you close this? Reset button, I want to see if reset button works well. Okay.
Oh,
That's
let's just do next.
Okay, close this. Let's go back to your code.
Okay, so I say what we do right now is let's split up into the breakout rooms. Martin can check out some people's code. We'll check some people's code here. Make sure everyone's doing some stuff because I think Zaki's is a little bit off right now.
Yeah, so let's keep Zaki and I am here, Tim, so that you can help if in case they have an issues.
Sure. Okay. In that case, what I'm gonna do, let's stop this sharing, and let's throw. I'm gonna throw Martin, the Ians, Hannah, Sophia. Okay, Martin, you can go check those out. And we'll check Zaki and Ian's here. And open all rooms. There you go. Okay, guys, so join the room with Martin and share screen to show him your code.
Okay, so Zaki, go ahead and share your screen again. You could have probably created the room. I could have taken Ayan also to separate room. So
I can still do that here.
do you have to create a
Um,
breakout room? You have to create all breakout rooms together. Ayan, let's go to
Yeah.
the breakout room.
Oh, wait, no, I sent Zaki by accident. Hold up, let me. Okay, you take Zaki, I'll take Ayan.
Okay. So Zaki, join the breakout room too, please.
Okay, Zaki, join the room, and Ayan, you can share your screen.
Okay. Yeah, my thing is working fine though. Got the procedure.
Okay, so can you scroll down a little?
Mine's working fine.
Yeah, did you test it out on your phone?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, in that case, yeah, you're good too then.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll just wait for the others to come back right now.
Okay.
Hey.
I can no longer screen share right now.
You can no longer? Yeah, where did your second person go? Okay, so guys, are there any other features that you guys think we should add to the game, to the tic-tac-toe game, or are you guys ready to move on to the chat? Yes, no?
Right now, tic-tac-toe, if you click a button twice, it'll override it.
That is in fact, that's a feature though.
Oh, okay.
What if you accidentally click the wrong tile? Huh? Okay, Martin, was everyone's code good? What is this check mark? All right, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, awesome. All right, so guys, do you have nothing else you want to add to the app? You're good? And you guys don't like to talk, do you? What is this question mark? Why are you doing this? Okay. And so we're waiting for Zachy. He's in the breakout room. But I think we can actually probably get started a little bit with our chat app. All right, so actually what I want you guys to do right now is click My Projects and click Start New Project. All right, so we can just get started to create the new app and maybe add in some of the front end. So then when Zachy comes, we can get caught up. Okay, for the project name, you can call it something to do with Messenger or chatting or whatever you really want. We'll call it like, what's a cool name? Martin, do you have any suggestions?
Really?
Carrier Pigeon app.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay. Hey, Zachy and Irada are back. All right, Zachy, so all we've done so far, we're basically done with our tic-tac-toe app, and we're starting to create our chat app. So can you just go ahead and create a new app? So click My Projects, Start New Project. All right, and then you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Just have something to do with chatting or sending messages.
Think of some cool name for chat program, for Messenger. Like chatbot or something. I'm gonna call mine chatbot.
Okay, guys, now who remembers what is the first thing that we usually need to do when we open a new project? You guys say it in the chat or unmute yourselves and say it out loud. Okay, come on, guys, let's get some interaction. Say something in the chat.
Remove title visible.
Remove title visible. Sure, exactly. So, like Ian just said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on screen 1. And we're going to scroll down here and we're going to uncheck this box that says title visible. And that's going to get rid of that little ugly header that was at the top of our screen. All right, and it'll leave us with a nice blank, beautiful screen to work with. Also, you'll notice this green thing on the side. I don't know how many of you have noticed that in the actual game, this does not show up. All right, when you actually run the app on your phone. But the little header there would, unless you remove it. So we can remove that, just make our app look a little nicer. So for our chat app, there's going to be a couple main components that we're going to need. All right, the first thing we're going to need is some kind of title, probably. The second thing is a box that the user is going to be typing in. And the third thing is a place where the user can see the messages that everyone else has sent. All right, let's start with the easiest thing. Now let's start with a label. Okay, I'm just going to put a label at the top of my screen. All right, if you guys remember to center it, you go width, fill parent, text alignment, center. All right, I'm going to make the font size nice and large. I'm going to call it like a, I don't know, okay, so let's just go pick carrier pigeon. There you go. All right, you can send pigeons to your friends. There you go. Okay. You can change the themes up. You can make it look however you like. All right. I'll make this bold maybe. There you go. Okay, now the next thing is going to be how our user is going to be sending messages and inputting like information into the app. All right, and let me like search this up. Let's search up like Messenger app. I want to see the interface. So if you look, this is like an actual messenger, like the actual messenger app. But if you look at, I don't know, an image like this, what you have is you have a text box, and next to the text box, you usually have a little send button, right? Let's just search up like iMessage maybe. Here's iMessage, right? You also have your text box and then a little send button. Well, it becomes a send button once you start typing things, I think. I don't use an iPhone. All right. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to mimic a similar thing. All right. So we're going to have a text box, which we haven't actually used before. And next to our text box, we're going to have a little submit button. So guys, when I want to put two things side by side like that, a text box and then a button next to it, who remembers how to put those two things side by side like that?
You need to get a horizontal arrangement.
We need to get a horizontal arrangement. Yes, I am. Exactly. So I'm going to drag a horizontal arrangement out onto my screen like this. Okay, before I even put anything inside it, I'm just going to make the width fill parent. So it takes up the whole width, right? And the height I'm going to leave as automatic because it should shrink when I put stuff in. All right, and then I'm going to grab a text box. All right, you'll notice there's two text boxes here. There's one that says password text box and a regular text box. The difference in between these two is that the password text box like stars out anything that you type into it. Do you know how like when you're on a website and you type in your password, it only shows up as stars? Right, that's what this text box does. The regular text box, on the other hand, is just a regular text box where you can type text and it will it'll let the program do whatever it wants with it. All right, this is what we want. We want the regular text box. Okay, and you see it fits very nicely in here. And you can play around with the width if you want. I'm just going to make it fill parent for now, and then I'm going to slide a button in there in between the wall and the text box. All right, usually I'll just make like a little blue send button. Okay, so for this I'm going to go drag a button out, try to squeeze that in there. It might be a little tough. There you go. Okay, and I'm going to make it say send. I'm going to make the font color white and bold, and I'm going to make the background color some nice shade of blue. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this a custom shade, and I'm going to drag it in here. Maybe get something like that. That looks pretty good, right? Nice little blue send button. Okay. I can actually also show you guys one little thing right now that we haven't really looked at too much, but I think would be like a little fun addition to any app you have. If you want to make an explicit background picture for your app, right? We did this once using a camera, but you can actually make it using any picture you want. All right. So right now the background for mine is a background color, and I showed you guys how to change the background color to whatever you want, right? But if you want to change the background to an image, there's an option here that says background image. So for instance, if I want to find a pigeon as my background, all right, I'm just going to find like a nice, let's see, pigeon background. Pigeon phone background. Which one do you think is cute? Here,
The white pigeon on blue sky?
This one?
No, the one below.
This one?
The one below. Below. Yeah, that one.
Sure, you know, let's take this one. All right, so I'm gonna find this image in Google Images. So I hope all of you guys know how to use Google Images, right? You just search and then click Images. All right, and then to save it to my computer, I'm gonna right click on it, and I'm gonna say Save Image As. All right, that's going to save it to my computer, and I'm just going to download it like this. All right. Oh, this is the weird file format. Okay, we're not going to use this one. I'm going to find a different image, right? Preferably, it would be like a JPEG or a PNG, not a GIF. Let's see another one. Maybe I'll just take this one. This one's fine. Okay, save image as, and this one you can see is JPEG, and then I'm going to click save. And now in MIT App Inventor, what we're going to do here is we are going to click background image, upload file. I'm going to drag this into choose file, or you can just click choose file and go find it yourself. All right, so mine's right here. Okay, and then, I'm going to click OK, and there you go. I have a pigeon as my background now. Okay, very cool. If your app doesn't have anything to do with pigeons, you can call it something else.
Wait, how do you do it again?
So you go to Google, find an image you like. Oh, okay. Then in the App Inventor, all you're gonna do is you're gonna click Screen 1, background image, upload file, choose file, go find your image, and then click OK, and then you can select it from this list and click OK. And it should pop up here.
Oh, the name is too long. I forgot to name it. Okay, I got it.
All right. Okay. So now once you add the background image, I think the main next thing is some way for the user to see all the messages that their friends have sent, right? So as of the moment, we don't have a way to do this, right? One way we could maybe do is just throw out like 20,000 labels out here for every single user, right? And I have to delete all of these. Damn. Okay. Right, which is going to be a long process and really annoying. But I think the easiest way to do this is to use something called a list view. We have never used a list view before, but let me drag this out here to show you guys how it works. Basically, a list view, it's like a scrollable area that displays a set amount of information that you give it through the code. Okay, so I'm actually going to take this list view, and I'm going to make its height fill parent, and its width fill parent. Okay, and you'll see by default it's black. If you're, you can pick how you want it to look. All right, if you want it to match like your white color theme or a black color theme, you can change how it looks. You can even make it transparent. So I might actually make it transparent so I can see my pigeon through it. So I'm gonna set background color here to none. Okay, so now I can see my pigeon through my list view. And make sure to play around with your text color. So for my text color, maybe I'll make it white. And it doesn't let you really bold it, so. Okay, there you go, see? Now there's a couple other things we can play around with here. There's something called selection color. For selection color, I'm also just gonna make that none. What selection color is it allows you to actually click on messages and do some stuff with it. Okay? And actually, let me make this a little bigger too. Okay. But here's where all of our messages are going to be showing up. All right, there's going to be like one element for every message. And if you want to test this out, what you can do is just put a couple elements over here where it says elements from string and just separate them with commas. All right, so I could write like hi, comma, this is Tim. Nice to meet you. Okay. And that should give 3 elements. But we're going to be filling this with actual messages later. So I'm just going to delete this all right now. Okay. Instead of filling it with some other stuff. Okay. So for the list view, guys, the important things, okay, text color, make it something that is contrasty to your background. If your background color is black and you make your text color black, you will obviously not be able to see your messages. All right. If you make your background white and you leave your text color as white, you won't be able to see your messages. All right, you can play around with the background color to make it whatever you want. Okay, and selection color, I would suggest setting to none, or else you're going to be able to click on messages, which isn't really nice. Okay, and then I set height and width to fill parent. Okay, text size you can also play around with if you want. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, so let's give them some time to catch up. And Guys, if you're not following or you're falling behind and need him to slow down, make sure you tell him that, okay? Okay, so Ayan, were you able to follow?
Yeah,
Everything
yeah, done.
good? Okay, and guys, again, you for those of you who use Zoom and MIT App Inventor on the same machine, on the same computer, you can set them side by side. So you can see what he is explaining and do it right away, right? I know Ian is using 2 computers, so that's actually great. But for those of you who use 1 computer, right? So that's an option to do. So make sure you resize your windows and place them side by side. Yeah? So you don't have to shift between windows.
It's 11. Is it time for a break?
So yeah, guys, if you are done with creating this front end, this is actually it for the front end, basically. We're not going to be touching this much more. All of the other time that we're going to be spending is probably going to be in the code side. But what I want you guys to do right now is finish this up. And if you're done, you guys are free to go take like a 5-ish minute break. You can come back here at 11:12, 11:13-ish, and we will show you guys the back end of this code. Hopefully get a little bit of that going today. Maybe be able to send some messages to each other, okay? All right.
Okay, so how are we doing? Who wants to go show the screen?
They're on break right now.
Oh,
Don't do anything to it.
Delete the, wait, do I need to delete the walls?
Wait.
All right, guys. So I think it's now 11:14. We can probably keep going with our app. All right. Is everyone back here? Can I get a thumbs up or something in the chat? Hannah, you don't have to put an image. I was just showing you guys how to if you wanted to. Okay. So Sophia and Ian are here. I think I heard Ian. Yeah, Ian's there. Zachy, how about you and Hannah? Hannah just said something. Oh no, Hannah said that a while ago. Hannah, are you here? Hannah's here. Zachy's here. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is actually trying to program some of this. All right, I think this is basically it for the front end of this app. But we have a lot of back end to go through. Actually, there's one thing that we probably should do before we get into the back end, and it's actually a hidden component that we're going to be adding to our front end here. All right, so if you scroll down the left side, you'll notice there's a little section here that says storage. All right, and under here, there are 4 different options. Okay, now at the beginning of class, guys, I asked you guys a little question. Did anybody figure out what a database was? Yeah, Sophia,
Where
you know?
something is stored.
So Ian says where something is stored. Sophia, do you have a different answer?
A structured set of data held in a computer.
Sorry, wait, can you say that again, just a little louder?
It's structured set of data held in a computer.
Yeah, so like a structured way to store data on your computer or store a large amount of data, yeah. So a database, there's a lot of different explanations and they can be used in a lot of different ways. but it's basically anywhere where you store any information for use for other purposes, right? In MIT App Inventor, there's a couple ways that we can use databases. And actually, if you notice here, everywhere where you read the two letters DB, DB stands for database. All right. We can use a database on our phone, so we can store information directly on your phone. Or what we're going to be doing is in MIT App Inventor, there's an option here to use something called CloudDB. All right. CloudDB is a cloud database. All right. So we're going to be using cloud database to allow us to actually store information on the internet, like a little pool of our messages, and then everyone will be able to send messages there and retrieve messages from there, and allow us to make a little messaging app. So I want you to go ahead and drag this CloudDB out into your Carrier Pigeon program. All right, and you'll notice it comes out at the bottom, and we can read a little bit about what it says up here. So Redis port, Redis server token, and project ID. All right, so there's a couple things that come up over here.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, I got the
So
cloud.
with the cloud database, each person who has a cloud database will be able to store their information individually. But for our purposes, making a messaging app, we want to have us using the exact same cloud database. So we want to be able to change our project ID. Well, basically, we want all four of these options here to match for all of us. All right, so real quick, can I ask you guys, what is your Redis port?
Wait, can you say that again?
This thing that says Redis port or redistribution port, what does yours say? What is the number for your guys's?
Same as yours.
Yeah.
Same as yours, 6381? Okay, does Redis server say default in large letters?
Yep.
Okay, so then in that case, the main thing I want you guys to do, I'm going to send some stuff to the chat. I want you to set your project ID to Carrier Pigeon app. Okay, and I want you to set your token to this. These are the two things that you have to change to match our apps. And then all of us will be linked up to the same cloud database and be able to control it. Okay, so basically come to the chat, copy this, and paste it into where it says token here. So you can just, if you like double click in here, it'll select it all. You can delete it and then paste the new token. Okay, it should end with GNAE.
Wait, do you also have to put the Carrier Pigeon app in the token?
Yeah, no, for project ID, you need to have
okay.
Carrier Pigeon app.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
I'm not actually sure if the project ID is supposed to be all the same, but I think I'm pretty sure they have to be similar. So it's best to just have it all the same. It won't affect anything else in your app. So it doesn't actually matter what you set your project ID to. Okay. Now cloud database is a little bit funky, so it may have a little bit of weird things that we need to get through. But we're here to help you guys troubleshoot, so we should be able to figure out everything. So now that we have our cloud database, let's actually just try to do some message sending. Okay, let's try to get some really simple message sending going. All right. Now the main things we need to do is first we actually need to set up a couple variables. All right. What these variables are going to do is they're basically just going to store what our current list of messages looks like, all right, and what our username is and that kind of stuff. We will make the username one later, but I think for the variable one, it's probably fine for now. All right, so let's get started with the first step. We haven't actually talked about what lists are, and we're going to be having to use them a lot when we're using our CloudDB. So I'll talk about that actually in a second. But before that, let's actually get something going just to send messages to our database. Oh, let me close my window. Okay, so we want to send a message when we click our button 1, right? We only have one button in our sheet. Okay, we're going to say when button1.click. All right, we're going to send some stuff to the cloud database. Okay. And now is probably the best time to talk about lists. So has anyone heard the word lists before in any capacity or scenario? I'm sure you guys all have heard the word list before, right? Can somebody give me an example of a list?
Like multiple things written down in
I
a
have
vertical line.
Yeah, sure, but
I
Shopping
have a list that plays music.
okay, like what's an example of some kind of list that you guys have used in your daily lives?
Grocery list.
A grocery list, right? A shopping list, something like that. So let's actually use shopping list as an example. All right, so when you create a shopping list, right, you have a shopping list. There you go. And it has a couple of key things. Firstly, it has a title. So that's your title right here. Okay, the next thing it has is it has some items in it. So what are some things you guys wanna buy from the grocery store this week?
milk.
Milk. Let's get some milk. Okay. How about what else? Let's get some eggs. What else do you guys want?
Yogurt.
Yeah. How do you yogurt? Pasta. Let's get some fruits too. Let's get apples.
Dairy products.
Maybe some oranges. Yeah, I think that's enough for now, right? So there's a couple key things. All right. Firstly, all right. Let me draw some arrows.
Ice cream.
All right. We have title / name. Okay. We have items. And we have, nope, that's the wrong way. And we have an order. Okay, an order is very important for this too. All right, so if you'll notice, our list here is numbered. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, it has an order in which all of my items go, which is also quite important, especially if we're making a chat app, right? We want to have an order in which the messages are sent. So let's talk about how we can use lists in code for useful things. All right, in our situation, how Cloud Database works, right, is Cloud Database basically allows you to store a big list of information under a certain tag. All right, so for instance, I can ask the Cloud Database, hey, tell me the information under the list, under the tag shopping list, right? And then it's going to give me a full list of all of the groceries and stuff I want. Right? But the cool thing about lists in MIT App Inventor and in programming languages is they're basically like variables, but instead of storing just one value, they can store multiple. All right, and you can add more values or remove values whenever you want. All right, and you can do that by using append value to list or remove from list, right? Or clear and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's talk about what we want to do in our app. Basically, in our app, when we click the button, right, we want to send a message to the list. All right, send a message to the database. And what that's going to do is it's going to add it to the big list of items it has. All right, so we're going to say append value to list. Okay, and I talked about tag for a second, right? When we have our tag here, we need to make sure that all of our tags are the same. So we're adding our values to the same list of information. All right, we're gonna call this just chat, lowercase. Actually, I think I already have one like this. Okay, summer chat. There you go. Okay, make sure you spell it the exact same way I did. So I'm gonna send it to the chat. Okay, this is the tag that I'm gonna be sending my messages to. All right, if you have it differently, you will not be receiving my messages, and nor will I be receiving yours. Okay, so append value to list. And then here, the item to add for us is going to be whatever's in our text box, right? So I'm going to go find text box, and I'm going to say text box dot text. But I'm going to do like the get one, this one. Text box one dot text. Okay, and what this should do is this should just add the value to the list. All right, so this is the equivalent of me sending a message to everyone else. Okay, now guys, I have another question for you guys. When you send a message on like Messenger or iMessage or any other platform, what happens to your text box?
It moves.
Does it move? Like if I were to write hello and then click send, does hello stay in the text box?
No.
No, what happens to the text box?
It gets transferred to another text box.
Okay, well, it sends that message, right, out to the other person, and then the text box is now empty, ready to receive my next message.
Oh, it sends to the cloud database, I think.
Well, it sends the message to the cloud database, right? But our text box gets cleared. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go text box one, and we're going to set text box one.text to a blank little chunk of text.
Okay, I did that.
All right, so we have just written all of the code for sending a message. Now I'm going to show you guys the code for receiving a message, and then we're going to check, let everyone screen share just so we can see how everyone is doing there. All right, but I want to get through a little bit more of a little chunk before we check everything. All right, so this right here is sending the message. All right, but right now, nobody's phone is receiving the message. Okay, everyone's just sending stuff up to the cloud database, but somebody needs to pull stuff from the database and show it on their phone. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to go to cloud database, and you'll see there's a couple other whens here. There's one that says got value, and one that says data changed. All right, we're going to start by using got value. Okay. Yeah, sure. We're going to start with using got value. Okay, what got value is going to do is basically going to say when you get a value from the database, run this code. Okay, so when someone sends a message, this code should be run along with data change. We're actually going to have to do this twice. But when somebody sends a message to the database, we have to do a couple things. Firstly, we want to check the message they sent was going to the tag that we are using, so summer chat. Okay, so if you guys remember, to check and see if someone is using our tag, we need to use an if statement. All right, just kind of like how we did in our tic-tac-toe app, right? So we're going to pull out an if statement, and we're going to say if, and we're going to use logic for this. We're going to say if the tag, get tag, is equal to summer chat. And again, you want to spell it the exact same way that we did up here. All right, you're going to spell this the same way every single time. So if get tag equals summer chat, then we're going to do the code in here. All right, the code in here is going to be a little bit different. All right, because now we're going to go and get the value from the database, and we're going to spit it into our list view to try to update our list view and make it so like all the information there is up to date and correct.
I got that.
Okay, so let's do this part. This next part is actually not that long. It's just one line of code. All right, so we're going to say list view dot set list view dot elements. Okay, and list view, as you can probably tell from the name, allows you to view a list. Okay, got value and our cloud database conveniently stores all our information as a list. So a list view is a perfect way to see all that information. All right, so I'm going to write set list view 1 dot elements 2, and then I'm going to
How did you get
go
set
value
list?
and say get value. Ian, what'd you say?
How did you get set list value? Set list view 1. Oh,
Do you have a list view 1 in your screen?
No.
No, okay. If you go to your designer, I want you to go to user interface and drag a list view out onto your screen. You probably missed it because mine's transparent. Let me actually make it non-transparent for a sec. Here. Okay, you have a list view. By default, it's black. So that's what it'll look like. I just wanted to make my app look a little bit nicer, so I made it transparent. Okay, but this is what you should have. You should have a list view in your app, and then it should show up over here, list view 1. I'm gonna make mine transparent again because I thought it looked nice.
Okay, I'm all caught up then.
Awesome. Okay, and guys, final thing. All right, when you're using cloud database, there's two things that can happen. Either you can get a value, or it'll detect that the value has been changed on the server. All right, so that's when this comes in. When cloud db1.data changed, we want to run the exact same code. So I'm literally just going to copy paste this code and throw it in here. Right, and I'm not yet going to use a procedure for this because this procedure is going to be a little bit more advanced than what you guys are used to. And for now, it's just one little repetition, but we're going to change that later, hopefully, into a procedure. All right, so that's actually just about it for receiving messages. So these two blocks are going to receive messages. All right. So what I want to do now is let's quickly break up into our breakout rooms. All right. Make sure everyone is caught up to speed. And then let's test out our apps and try to chat with each other. Because since we have the same token and the same name and same tag and everything, theoretically, if we send messages, all of us should be able to receive them. All right, we should all see the same messages and everyone should be able to talk to each other. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click stop sharing. All right, and now everyone who is in Martin's group, go ahead and join him again. All right, and let's quickly check everyone's code. Okay, so everyone go to the breakout room. So once again, like yesterday, it's at the bottom bar. Also, Martin, you can go there because Sophia's already waiting.
Okay, so it's in the bottom.
Yeah,
you see
I'm
like
looking
4 boxes.
So yeah, Ian, on the bottom, if it's not there, you can click on the button that says more, and then you can click breakout rooms. And then
There's no more.
do you see a button that says breakout rooms?
Next to the share screen, there's record and then breakout rooms button.
Record, share screen, and reactions. That's all I can see.
Okay, Ian, what I want to do is I'm just going to send you there again.
Okay.
Okay, hold up. Let me do something like this. Do you see it now?
No.
Maybe I just need to send your
Oh.
desktop.
Well, yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, he's
He's
gone.
Okay, so Ayan, can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to send me and Zaki so we can test his on mine?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. You guys are already there. Just go ahead and join the room.
Okay, Zaki, do you want to join the breakout room?
Yeah. So Ayan, yours looks you're missing the set list view on the second CloudDB one.
Wait, which one?
Do you see how over here you have something that says set list view one dot elements to
Oh,
get
okay.
value?
I'm missing that.
You're missing that over here. So you can just copy paste it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, you if you select the green one, it automatically copies the orange. Okay, so just copy that.
There you go.
Okay, and now can you test that out?
Okay.
Actually, can you? Yeah, okay. So connect and then show me your front end as well, so I can take a look at that.
Wait, can you see this? Wait, let me remove my background. Wait, I need to stop sharing to remove my background. Okay. Oh, here.
Nice. Did you send a message?
Yeah, yeah, I got a message.
Who did you get a message from? Oh, did you say hello?
No, someone else said hello. I said hello too.
Put your name in it.
Okay.
Hey, there you go.
Okay. Is there a way to like program it so you know which user it's coming from?
Hmm?
Is there a way to like program it so you know which user it's
That's what
coming
we're actually going to add next, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, some people are coming back.
Hello.
So how are you guys doing? Did you manage to send some messages?
Yep.
Martin, did you guys have messages sent?
You send messages? No, I just looked at the code.
Okay, guys, so if you want to connect to your phone real quick, you can try it out. So me and Ayan, we're testing it out here, and we can actually communicate with each other. So we see each other's messages. All right, so try that out as well on your screens, okay? connect to your phone, send some messages, and send something with your name in it so we can make sure everyone's connected up correctly. Okay. Can somebody send something with their name in it? So be like, hi from someone. All right, because me and Ayan both were able to send some messages. Everyone
Yeah,
else,
we were
please
able
try.
to send the messages too, but we didn't see anyone else's messages.
Check to make sure that the token, I guess, is correct. Because
Yeah, we
me and
did.
Ayan were able to see ours.
You,
Oh.
only yours or anyone
We
else?
just sent a bunch of blank. Okay, so wait, Ian was able to send something. Hannah was able to send something. Someone is sending a bunch of spaces in ours. Sophia,
No.
were you able to get it working?
Zaki sent the message hi from Zaki. Do you see that?
Hi from Zaki. I do not see a message saying. I see hi, I'm Sophia. I do not see hi from Zaki.
Okay, Zaki, can you share your screen, Tim? Can you, can we, okay, let me actually share the screen so you can see what we see. Just one sec.
No, actually, just share Zaki's screen so I can check his code, because that's probably where the problem is.
Yeah, so everything works like, hi from Zaki. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when he types something, like hi again, okay? So, but we don't see any other people's messages, right?
Yeah. Zaki, can you share your screen? Okay, so did you copy the token I sent and paste it in your area?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
go to your
It's
code?
the token, Tim. We checked the
Huh?
token is the same.
Go to the blocks then. So see, he spelled summer chat differently everywhere.
Oh,
So summer chat, Zaki, spell it the same way I'm about to send to the chat, okay? So I'm gonna send it to the chat and you just copy how I did it. So lowercase s, capital C, one word.
just copy from the chat and paste here. Yeah, like that.
Okay, and now Radha, are you still connected?
Yes, I am. So refresh the
So,
screen.
so yeah, Zaki, click connect, refresh companion screen. Okay, and now Radha, share your screen.
Yep. Okay. You want to take
Okay, and
control?
send something. You won't see anything until someone sends something, or until you send something.
Okay, Zaki, you want to request control, buddy? There you go. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, click send. Are you guys sure you have the token correct? Okay, Zaki, share your screen one more time.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna request control here so I can just poke around. Let me check something.
Can you check his port? Yeah, 6381. Everything seems correct, right?
Hmm.
Can you move them around? Make sure nothing is hiding behind them. Yeah. Or just double click them to minimize. Maybe zoom out. Volume, elements, text. Here. Do you want to maybe stop companion and then share it again? Maybe with database the refresh doesn't work.
What did I call it?
Does the project ID has to be same as yours?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Okay, and I need to update the token. Zaki, can you go find the token and copy paste it and put it here? Because I can't actually see your chat.
But you have your token, right? You can copy
Yeah,
it.
but I can't copy it because I can't see his chat on his computer. So like Zaki, can you open up the chat?
How do I do that?
So you know at the top where you see the little thing that says like you're sharing your screen?
No, I mean, you don't need chat, Tim. You can copy it from your
Okay.
MIT app inventor.
I can't paste it.
Oh,
I have to copy on his computer and paste from his computer. Okay, Zaki, at the top of your screen, do you see the thing that says like
More?
share screen or something?
Already found more.
Zaki, he wants you to
Oh,
copy
more, yeah. Just click
one more
chat.
time
More and then click chat.
from the chat.
Okay, and now do you see the chat? Did you open it up?
Yep.
Okay, now find the token, copy and paste the token and paste it into, or copy the token and paste it into CloudDB1.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, and now give me my control back.
And you know what? Reset the companion. It might be that the database doesn't refresh. If you put summer chatter in the first one.
Hello.
Did everyone else's chat works?
Yeah.
I can see everyone else's messages.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think the issue here was with the refresh. So maybe refresh companion doesn't refresh the changes with databases. So just give me a completely new QR code. There you go. Okay, do you want to stop sharing so I can share? Okay. So let me just type hi from Arada. Do you see that? Oh, it doesn't show now here.
Zaki, show your code one more time. I don't see any spelling differences.
Can you maybe test it on your phone?
Maybe. Hey.
What happened? Did it come?
Things hold up. Hi from Zaki.
Wait, so you got him now?
Oh, I can see everyone else's messages. I don't know if I can send messages.
Wait, do you see Zaki's messages?
No, I am Zaki's messages.
Ah, okay.
Oh, and I see hi from Narada too.
Oh, really? So there was just lag?
No, it's just not updating for some reason.
Oh. Hmm.
I don't know what the difference is.
It's okay. We can move on. Actually, it's just 5 minutes left. We can keep Zaki and debug his code. Anything else, Tim, you wanted to show?
Yes, so let's do, I think we can do one more little thing real quick in the code. So guys, have you noticed anything wrong with the code right now? Any problems?
You can't see what the user when someone sent.
So yeah, you can't see who sent it. What else can you not see? Or what else is like a weird like problem that you wouldn't want in any other chat app? When you send or receive a message, do you notice anything happen? No, okay, so guys, like right now, if guys, go ahead and open up your companions, all right? I'm going to send you a message, and you're gonna tell me what happens, or what do you have to do to see that message? Okay, so if I send hello, so it doesn't actually do it. It's not a problem with that. It's a completely different problem. Anyway, so we have a couple problems, right? Right now, our database has gotten to the point where it's so big that it doesn't really work. So I'm just gonna clear it real quick. Okay, don't write that. That was just a thing that I did. Okay, hello. Okay, hi from Tim. Okay, so now it works fine. So guys, yeah, when the database gets too big, we get a little problem, which we can fix doing some other stuff. We'll do that tomorrow. But what you guys will notice is if you have too many items in your list, too many messages to look through, what will happen is every time you receive or send a message, it will automatically scroll up all the way to the top of your messages. Has anyone noticed that?
Nope.
Yes, no? Okay, well, look, if I spam the chat a little, give me a little bit of spamming time. And I'm gonna say hi from Tim again. Right? Now, even though my message is at the very bottom, if I send a new message, it scrolls me up to the very top. You can't see my phone, but I'm sure you have seen it happen on your phone, right? Which is extremely annoying. So what we're going to do instead is we're basically going to say, instead of scrolling up to the top, we're just going to select the bottommost element in the list, and that's going to go ahead and allow us to view the latest element in the list. So to do this, we're going to go, when we get a value or change a value, okay, we're going to go list view one dot, dot selection index. Where is it? Here, dot selection index. No, selection. Yeah, so set selection index. All right, we're going to say set selection index right here. And we're going to set the selection index to the last item in the list. What selection index basically means is it's going to set for the list which element, right? Which ordered element you're currently selecting. So if I set this to 1, it's going to select the first element. If I select it just 2, it's going to be second, right? If I select it to like 20, it's going to be it's going to select the 20th element. Or if I want to select the latest element, what I can do is I can just get the length of my list and select the last one. All right. So for this, we're going to go under lists, all right, under the blue option lists. You'll find one here that says length of list. And then we're just going to copy get value and put that in here. So now if I send a message, hello, it scrolls me all the way down instead of scrolling me to the top. Okay, and we're going to have to do this twice because right now our code is bad. All right, next class, we're going to turn this into a procedure. We're going to add a username. So when you send a message, you'll have a way of telling everyone who you are, right? So it'll say something like Tim colon said this, right? So Tim colon hello. That way you know who's sending the message and how to respond. And we'll add another couple quality of life things, right? So we'll make sure that you can't send a blank message, all right? We'll make it so that you can't spam the chat. We'll make sure you actually receive messages all the time, right? We'll fix a couple little glitches. And for the homework, what I think we can give you guys is, okay, I'll give you the homework to try and turn this into a procedure. All right, try your best to make this into a procedure. I'll give you a hint. In the procedure, if you click the little setting icon, this might be helpful, all right, using inputs. Okay, that might be helpful for the challenge. All right, but once again, let me write that up somewhere. Challenge slash homework is make a procedure out of the list. Okay, there you go. So that will be your homework for today. All right. So on that note, it is 12, and we will. Do we want to share code and see everyone's real quick before we send them off?
Yeah, or send the hi to the messengers if we see it. Trick or treat. Whose message was that?
Actually, I've already seen. Yeah, I've already seen everyone send a message, so I'm assuming everyone's works. This last thing is just all you needed to add at the end here.
And
Okay.
the code to receive the message of the receive message code. Can you just make
That's
sure?
this big chunk right here and this big chunk right here. You'll notice they're identical.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can turn that into a procedure, that's going to be your homework. At least try to turn it into a procedure. Okay. So if you can get a procedure made out of it, that'll be amazing. If not, I at least want you to come back next class and say what about it stopped you from being able to turn it into a procedure? Okay,
Okay,
what was
guys, you
the
should be able to do
problem
that.
that?
Just add the procedure, move the code that is duplicated to the procedure and call the procedure instead, right? So nothing difficult, very easy task. And please, if you didn't have time to set up the picture background, play with that. Add some nice picture background and make sure that the text is visible on that background, okay? So let's beautify the app. Let's pay some attention to design as well. So with that, thank you so much for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And Zaki, don't leave, okay? Stay. And
Actually, Zaki's works fine now. It's all good.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No, I don't see his messages.
No, he didn't send any messages.
Yeah, so let's just
Can you
test
connect
it.
real quick and just send it?
Zaki, just stay online and we'll test it just once more just to make sure it works. Everyone else, guys, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.